In Pakistan, it's cheaper to buy a hit of heroin than food. The country is infamous as a major transit point for heroin and cannabis from neighboring Afghanistan to the rest of the world. But it's also fighting its own battle with addiction. I'm Steve Chow. On this edition of 101 East, we ask if Pakistan can kick its drug habit. This report from Karishma VS.
Drugs are cheap and easily available, and they're destroying countless lives.
All you have to do is to make a phone call and you'll get it. Heroin or anything. Whatever drugs you want, wherever you want it, you call and they'll deliver.
A lack of government funding is crippling law enforcement, and there aren't enough rehabilitation centres. Meanwhile, the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime estimates that Pakistan has more than 6 million drug users. At least 4 million are addicts, and the numbers are growing. The epidemic is destroying families. Users often disappear from their homes, leaving distraught parents behind.
We are seeing more and more people attracted towards the drugs and the availability of the drugs. We are definitely concerned. We are concerned for our children, because when you talk to them, they already know the names of certain very, very dangerous drugs.
A cheap and endless supply of drugs from neighbouring Afghanistan is fueling this epidemic. Every year, billions of dollars worth of heroin and hashish floods across the porous border on its way to foreign markets. It's estimated that about 150 tons of heroin enters Pakistan each year. 44 tons of that is consumed locally.
The region has to do something. The world has to do something. The United Nations has to do something. These opiates in Afghanistan, they destroy the region. They are destroying the Western world as well. So we are worried.
Brigadier Muhamamd Abuzar heads the anti-narcotics force in Sindh province, where Karachi is the capital. He wants to show me the lengths that traffickers go to smuggle drugs. We've been driving for about an hour outside of Karachi, and we're heading towards Port Qasim, which is the third largest port. And we're actually going there because the anti-narcotics force seized 80 kilograms of heroin, which was packed inside a container heading to Turkey. Officials received a tip-off about a shipment that was heading to Ankara. After checking cargo records at the port, they pinpointed this container.
We reached this container through the effort of our informers, through the electronic tracking, and through the effort of these guys.
But it wasn't easy to find the drugs at first glance. Inside these boxes of towels, there was a secret lining that concealed heroin. So they cut the side of the packaging?
Of the packaging,
and that's
as well.
Where the drugs were?
That's where the drugs were. So they were actually made inside the packaging. They made the packaging in 2 layers. So it was all machine made. It was not handmade.
Yeah.
So this is how.
That's a very sophisticated.
It's a very sophisticated operation.
Local law enforcement agencies are involved. I will exclude the anti-narcotics force from this, but the anti-narcotics police from the excise and taxation department and our local police, they are heavily involved. In my experience, without the involvement of the top level, such a big game can't be played.
Yes, it goes on. I can't really say about the other departments, but as far as ANF is concerned, we are very, very strict. We have a complete system of overwatch, and we know how important job we are doing. So definitely, we have to take steps to stop it, to create the deterrence within our force as well, and in the other law enforcement agencies.